Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Epileptic Gamer podcast. And now, normally, I would start off as a grateful host, and I'm actually going to start off as a more grateful host. I keep track of my analytics daily, and was just alerted that we've hit 10 downloads in one episode alone. That blows my mind. I cannot thank you enough for all your support so far, and we're not even 2 episodes in. So thank you again, but from now on, let's not talk about that. Let's keep looking forward. So today's topic is going to be the 2021 Game Awards. And I would usually talk about each one in full. However, since when me writing out the script, or like writing out the PowerPoints, I guess you could say, I really felt like it would be too long. So I chose out 7, which was Game of the Year, Best Direction, Best Narrative, Best Performance, Best Ongoing Game, Art Direction, and Best Score. So you guys can check out the nominees on the Game Awards website. Without further ado, let's hop right in. And we're going to save Game of the Year for last, because that's where I have the most to talk about. And we're going to kill off pretty much one big bird with Ongoing Game, because that's the easiest to talk about. So, basically, what the nominations are Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy XIV, Genshin Impact, and Fortnite. You got your usual contenders on there. Final Fantasy XIV, usual awards. Call of Duty Warzone, pretty damn good. Fortnite, I'm honestly surprised Fortnite got nominated. Same thing with Genshin, but Apex, I think Apex is the one that's going to take it. And now hear me out. Usually, I would be like, okay, Best Ongoing Game, because it's a Call of Duty written all over it. They have yearly content coming out. It's a no-brainer. However, I don't think that that's going to be the case. Because when you have yearly content, and you're only releasing a brand new map just now, I feel like that's going to be where a lot of voters are going to be like, yeah, they have a shit ton of new seasons, but Apex Legends have supplied a ton of new content consistently. And they've honestly, in my opinion, have done better. So with Best Ongoing Game, my prediction is going to be Apex Legends. And that's honestly probably going to be my big one hot take of the day. I might have another, depending on how I look at things. But yeah, Apex Legends, I think, will 100% take it all. That's going to be it. Now, we're going to go on to another easy choice when it comes to Best Score in Music. For those of you that did not look at the website, as always, I would highly recommend you go and vote. You can check it out on their website now. For Best Score in Music, the nominees are Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Nier Replicant, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Artful Escape. Now, I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's going to be Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Because, have you seen the damn soundtrack? It's incredible. And I know it says Best Score and Music. So you gotta keep out the music. You gotta just take away the music. The score isn't bad on its own. It has a lot of good ambiance. I don't know if you played the game personally, but when I was playing through it, I loved every second of it. And I mean that. So I really see that taking it all. I mean, you got so many good 80s songs. Just filling that void right there. I think it's going to be either Guardians or maybe even The Artful Escape. I was surprised to even see Cyberpunk get a nomination. just because that the game is a couple years old right now. Yeah, it's been kind of making a comeback, but I just think Guardians has a nostalgia factor, which is kind of unfair when you think about it, but all's fair in love and war, especially when it comes to Game Awards. So now we're going to go to Best Performance. And before I get into the nominees, I will say an award has already been given out to one of them. Now, let's jump into them. Now, it's Erica Mori for playing Alex Chen in Life is Strange True Colors, Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo as Far Cry 6. I probably just butchered his name. If I did, I'm sorry. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn in Deathloop, Maggie Robertson as Alicia Dimitrescu. That is how you pronounce the name. I'm proud of that one. In Resident Evil Village, and Ozioma Aga. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I could be wrong again. As Juliana Blake in Deathloop. So we got 2 Deathloop nominees. We got a Resident Evil Village nominee. Far Cry 6 one, and Life is Strange. Now, I will say ahead of time, Maggie Robertson did win a Golden Joystick as her performance as Alcina Dimitrescu. And I congratulate the whole Resident Evil Village team. Well deserved. The game was great. But in my opinion, I feel like Erica Mori is 100% going to take it. I don't know why, but I just loved the way that she portrayed Alex Chen in this game. So yeah, without a doubt in my mind, I feel like they are going to take it. And yes, I can see Maggie going 2-0, getting the Golden Joystick and Game Awards. But is it likely? No. Now, Best Narrative. Now, we got Psychonauts, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy again, Life is Strange again, It Takes Two, and Deathloop. Now, those are the nominees. Now, I'm going to break down why I think Life is Strange is going to completely sweep the board this year. I think Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a bit too early to win an award. That's my opinion. I don't know what the cutoff time is. It got nominated, so obviously there's a decent time for that to get nominated. However, I just feel the fact that they kind of just said, hey, it's going to be thrown in here, especially when most of the game kind of had its filler audio. I don't know. That's tough for me. I felt like Life is Strange definitely is more narrative-based, too. And yes, you can argue Guardians has a decent story, and it does. It succeeded everywhere the Avengers failed, in what the Avengers should have been. But I just feel like Guardians does not have a chance right now. I think Life is Strange is going to take it. Now, Deathloop has a great narrative as well. So, if you had to give my order, I would say Life is Strange, then Deathloop, then Guardians, then It Takes Two and Psychonauts. And now, before you're wondering, why haven't I picked Psychonauts yet? I haven't played it. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can only go off of what I've played, and I just haven't found the Psychonauts games interesting. I've played the first one, wasn't a big fan, so I never bothered to play the second. But from what I know now, I feel like Life is Strange is almost hits every check. It's basically a guaranteed win when it comes to best narrative. Because the point of the game is that it's a narrative-based game. So the fact that this game may even not win blows my mind. I feel like they should just nominate this game 5 times to give it the award. But you can't do that. So, alright. Nothing ranting about best narrative. Yeah, my choice for best narrative is Life is Strange True Colors. And now on to the last two, which is best game direction and game of the year. And I think we will finish the podcast of game of the year. So let's dive right into best game direction. So, I like Deathloop. That's my pick, sticking to it. Originally, I had Ratchet and Clank. And the big reason is because it just came in on the scene and dominated sales. Completely tore through it. But, I feel like there's those three picks. And it's going to be It Takes Two, Psychonauts, and Deathloop. Now, Deathloop, I have a feeling has its best odds, which is why I'm taking it. In my opinion, that's where the smart money is. But, do I think Psychonauts or It Takes Two could just easily slide in there and take it? 100%. It's the Game Awards. Stuff that is supposed to happen might not happen. And that's what I like about it. That's why people look forward to this time of the year. I always loved talking about the Game Awards. And that's why I am picking Deathloop. However, my fallback pick, I will say, is Ratchet and Clank. I'm sorry, the Returnal and It Takes Two and Psychonauts. I just feel the best money, if you were going to bet on it, is probably Deathloop. Now, I kept that segment short because, get ready, get strapped in, Game of the Year is a long one. So we got 6 nominees instead of 5. Game of the Year now has Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Now, I'm going to throw a little asterisk on Village, because it did just win an Ultimate Game of the Year in the Golden Joystick Awards. So, congratulations to the Resident Evil team. Let's move on. So, can Resident Evil Village make it 2 for 2? Maybe. But, I don't know. We got some tough competition here. I mean, you got Ratchet and Clank that just came back and said, here we are, we're going to destroy the show, and my god did they. And then you have Psychonauts, who is a well-respected series. It is a big cult following. Same thing with Metroid. Metroid came in and just stormed it. It destroyed the damn battlefield. It Takes Two, I don't know a lot about it, but I hear great things about it. And the fact that it got nominated for Game of the Year most likely should be my call sign of this is a big game to take an eye on. And Deathloop, brand new IP. You got that shiny new toy. And it has some bugs at launch, as every game is going to do. PC, I know, had a problem with anti-cheat. But on the PlayStation 5 and everywhere else, destroyed it. The brand new IP, Deathloop. My lord, I think Deathloop is going to take it all. And I know sound like I am singing the praises right now. Like it's the next best thing. However, I feel like we put a little bit too much hype into Metroid Dread. It Takes Two is more of a cooperative game. I think people might stick in. This is my opinion. Like I said, this is why it's predictions. Not a actual overview. It's predictions. I predict that people are going to stick to more single-player games. And the fact that literally in the name it says It Takes Two, I don't think it's going to take... Yeah, it's going to take plenty of people. That wasn't a pun there. And that was completely unintentional. But I think the fact that it's co-op, it won't have enough oomph and enough firepower to get there. Psychonauts 2, cult following. Might as well you could shoot that up to the top of the list. But we got 3 other AAA developing games. Psychonauts 2, I believe, is indie, if I'm mistaken. I mean, you got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was initially, when I first recorded this, my choice. But after seeing Resident Evil Village win Ultimate Game of the Year, and same thing with Deathloop, you gotta give it to Deathloop. I don't think Psychonauts 2 is gonna have that chance. And they're gonna take a look at their favorites and kind of narrow down each one. Which is why I think, again, Game of the Year is gonna go to Deathloop. I would love to see Village go 2 for 2. I think that would be a pretty cool story. I would like to see Ratchet and Clank make its brand new comeback on the PlayStation 5. And come right out of nowhere and win Game of the Year. Who knows, maybe even an indie developer in Psychonauts 2 gets Game of the Year. Metroid could get Game of the Year. It Takes Two can get Game of the Year. But I feel like the most realistic one, if you were going to do it, it's going to be Deathloop. That's where I feel PlayStation is going to go. And I feel like PlayStation has the best odds this time around. I mean, they got 2 of the 6 nominations. That's not bad. It really isn't. But let me know what you guys think. I personally think Deathloop will take it this year. I am 100% going to do a follow-up podcast on this right after the Game Awards. So, look forward to that. That's probably going to be episode 4 or 5, depending on how long I get these out. However, final prediction. Lock it in. Game of the Year goes to Deathloop. And alrighty. I think that'll be about it. We are about to hit the 18-minute mark. So I am going to sign off here. Thank you guys so much for popping up today. It means the world to me. I'm going to get a little real with you guys. I didn't expect to even get to episode 2. The fact that you guys got a chance to listen to it means the world, and the fact that you are listening to it is incredible. There are thousands of podcasts out there, and the fact that you chose mine to listen to, it blows my mind. But, thank you all so much. I mean it. And this is Jacob. Thank you for joining me on the Epileptic Gamer podcast. I'm out. Bye-bye.